All right, second edition of GOHUNT Labs. I want to test to see if I lose feet per second, if my arrow drops, if my bow is fully saturated and wet versus when it's dry. I always hear this, I don't know, urban legend, I guess, that if your bow, your string gets completely wetted out, that you lose feet per second and your arrow drops more. So I want to test that. Obviously I can't do it in the rain because I just don't get rain in southern Utah that often, but what I can do is I can shoot the bow completely dry through a chrono. I'm going to shoot a 3-arrow group to get an average speed, and then I'm going to stick this thing in a Yeti cooler for a couple hours. I'm going to come back, pull the thing out, and shoot it through a chrono again just to see if I lose feet per second. I'm also going to do a test because I want to see if I get arrow drops. So I'll probably shoot a group here at 40 just to make sure that I'm in the middle with my dry bow, and then I'm also going to repeat that when the bow is completely wet. So first arrow, I got my chrono, I got this Garmin chrono set up. I'm just going to get a baseline for what my feet per second is with this setup. So to those that are interested, I'm shooting 30.5-inch mods, 80%. On this Matthews Lift bow. My arrow weight total is about 505 grains, and I'm just going to shoot her through the old chrono and see what I get. So first arrow up. .290.7. Second arrow. Ooh, 295. We're smoking on that one. So 5% or 5 feet per second difference on those two, which is interesting. And we'll shoot a third. .287. So we got 290, 287, and 295, which is interesting, but I thought they'd be a little bit closer than that. But regardless, we'll take an average of that and see where we land. Obviously, I'm not good enough at math to do this in my head, but we will see. Average speed, 290.66. So 290 feet per second. That's my benchmark. That's kind of the default. All right, so I'm going to shoot a group, 5 arrows at 40 yards. This is with a dry bow. I just want to confirm that I'm hitting middle, kind of confirm my elevation so that when I wet this bow completely out in the Yeti cooler, I can shoot it again to see if I actually get any drop in my arrows in my group. So I'm just going to shoot a group at 40. I'll circle that group and then I'll compare it against a group that I shoot when the bow is totally soaked out. So let's see what happens. Carnage, did you hear that? Should have let that one down. Throw that one out of the group probably. All right, let's go look at the group. All right. This one here I'm actually going to throw out because I should have let down. I should have had the willpower to let down. That one was really running way too long in the draw. That was a bad shot. These shots, those all felt pretty good. Obviously these three felt real nice. Nice little group, 40 yards. This one's a little bit out, but it establishes a really nice baseline. So now I'm gonna throw this bow in the cooler. We're gonna give it ample time to let this thing get completely drenched out. We'll be back. We're going to test the feet per second on the chrono. We're also going to reshoot the group to see if we have any drop in our arrow. So stick with us. We'll see what happens. I'm curious. All right, got the accessories off. We're just going to throw her in the old Yeti 160. I think it's going to fit. Yeah, like a glove. So there she goes. It does make my heart a little bit. I'm sure it'll be fine. They're built for it, right? So anyway, we'll throw it in there. We'll let her sit for a while and we'll retest it. We'll see what happens. I've always been curious about this because everybody always says wet strings, you lose feet per second, wet bow. So I'm going to test it. I want to find out. So we'll check back here in an hour or so. All right, back up at the range. We ran into town, ran some errands, got a drink, got some food. So it's been an hour or so. I don't think it's going to get any more saturated than that. We're back to the Yeti cooler. Reach in, I'm going to grab the bow, put it back together, put the sight back on, put the stabilizers in. We're going to run it up, shoot it through the chrono, and just see what we get. We're shooting for 290 feet per second, average between 3 arrows, which is what it shot before when it was dry. So we're just going to see what happens. I'm not going to shake the bow off. I want that thing to be saturated. I just want to see what it does. And then I'm going to shoot a group. I want to see if I get some arrow drop. So I'm going to reach in, grab the old bow. It's cold. Man, the temperature has dipped. I don't even want to put my hand in there. Oh man. The old bow is wet. All right, first arrow, let's see what we get. .292, that's a good sign. 292 is right in the same range. It's actually faster than 2 of our slowest arrows. 294, 294, 292. So far, 2 of the 4 or 2 of the 3 are faster than they were the first time. So far, no difference at all, really, and actually a little bit faster. .306, that one's got to be a misread. We'll shoot a 4th arrow just because that one seems like an outlier to me. So we 292, 294, 306. So far faster. 306. That's weird. Interesting. God, I don't know. That's weird. All right, so I shot 292, 294. And I shot 2 different arrows at 306, which I think are outliers. Seems odd. But you divide that by 3, you're going to get an average of 297. So 290 to 297. So that's 7 feet per second faster. This time with a wet bow. Obviously, it's been a decent amount of time, and the temperature's dropped. I don't know if that would impact it. Maybe you gain some feet per second. Maybe the air is cooler, and I don't know. I really don't know, but I know that I guess the take home is I haven't really seen any change in foot per second other than it seems to be faster. So I guess we can say that myth is pretty well busted. I'm going to run back. I'm going to shoot a group at 40 yards. I just want to see if there's any difference on the impact of the arrow. So I'm tracking the elevation. What I would expect is wet strings. I've always been told wet strings, you get slower feet per second and your arrow drops. So I'm going to test that and I'm going to see. Like I said, I want to do this test when it's raining, when it's a complete downpour. And I'm going to get to that in the spring when it finally decides to rain here in Cedar City. But I'm going to test this right now. So let's shoot a group at 40 and just see what it looks like. All right, let's shoot some arrows at 40, wet bow. I just want to see if I have any drop in my group. I want to see if I have any difference between wet bow and a dry bow. You know, saturated string versus a dry string. I just want to test it. So I'm going to shoot a group of arrows here at 40 yards and see. What I would expect is that I would get, you know, slower feet per second, which I've already kind of proved that's not the case. But I would expect my arrows to kind of drop, maybe lose a few inches. So let's see. Ooh, that was a good shot. Not a good shot for the arrow, but you see how the water fly off? So I went to look through the old peep. It was completely soaked out. All I could see is a big water bubble. I'm definitely colder. You Midwesterners and Easterners that sit in tree stands, I can see why the draw shooting a little lower poundage bow. Oh, doesn't feel like as good a shots as my first round, but we'll see what they look like. Interesting. So that was my first arrow. The other two, obviously left to right, aren't great, but they're definitely higher. So I was shooting more feet per second when I shot it through the chrono a minute ago, and my arrows are kind of indicating they're actually kind of floating up. My elevations actually increased from where my points of impact were when the bow was dry, which was right here. So you can see they've probably floated up maybe 1.5 inches, 2 inches. That's interesting. So I guess we've actually, I might have to test this one again at some point in the rain because I'm not totally convinced myself of what I'm seeing, but it seems to me that the bow fully wet, arrows actually were faster, and my arrows moved up. So kind of weird results, not what I expected. If you guys are out there and you want to try this test, try it. I would love to know what happens for you guys. For me, it looks like the opposite happened of what I thought would happen. So yeah, replicate it. I want to hear what you guys think. I guess for me, I would probably not change my aiming point, depending on if my bow has been fully wet and sitting in the rain all day on a long backcountry hunt where it's been raining a lot. So far, all results would indicate that I should just use the exact same reference, the exact same aiming point, and I'm kind of interested to see what you guys think. Leave your comments below. I want to hear what you guys think. Test it out yourselves. And again, like if you guys have ideas, things that you want me to test out, drop a comment. I'd love to hear it. I'd love if you'd subscribe, share this little episode of GOHUNT Labs, and appreciate you watching.